We're Hassani and Danielle Pettiford, and we're a real couple with real problems who almost called it quits.
I was very frustrated. I became very disconnected, very jaded and cold.
We have 4 children, going on 20 years of marriage, and we practice what we preach.
Our mission, to change the way couples relate to one another and teach them the skills needed to improve the quality of their relationships. This is the Couples Academy Show.
Well, good morning, folks. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. This is your boy, Roland. Here you're watching the Couples Academy Show on this morning. As you can see, yes, I am solo on this morning, and we're going to have a great time. I hope everyone had a great weekend, and we're looking forward to the holidays that are coming up. And we're talking about a very interesting topic today, hearing the negatives, responding with positives. Hearing the negatives, responding to positives. So oftentimes during the holidays, for whatever reason, tragic tends to hit home, and not just hit home, but a lot of times with family members coming from all over the place and allowing them to come into your space. You haven't seen them in a long time. So you're not familiar with what they've been having going on and how things have been showing up. And a lot of times they come with these negative connotations or these negative undertones. And we got to learn how to respond with the positives. So you've been doing your work and you want to share your work with others. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to go to a quick commercial and we're going to come right back with this interesting topic. I see you on the other side.
When 45 men from all walks of life come together in one place for one purpose, there is a collective harmony that produces an amplification of power that leaves an impact on the lives of men that cannot be erased. A fraternity of legendary men, all at the tipping point, on the precipice of greatness, meeting for one weekend to turn their worlds inside out. For the first time ever, the Foundry experience. Not an event, not a seminar or retreat, but an opportunity to come face to face with the man you were always destined to be. If you want a life that's better than the one that you are living, meet us January 2023 for the Foundry experience.
Well, welcome back, folks. You're watching the Couples Academy Show. I went and woke up my brother, and he was able to join us. So I know when we left, I was by myself, but I did a Houdini trick, a magic trick, and went and got my brother. Welcome in, Gonzalez. How you doing, man?
What's up, buddy? Good morning. Good morning.
Good to see you. Hey, listen, you saw two commercials We have two major events coming up. Last Chance Weekend, the last one for the year, December 9th through the 11th. You want to be in the building. You want to get your
Yes.
name on the list, right? A lot of times going into the new year, people are deciding which way to go, up or down, back or forth. Should I leave? Should I stay? I love them not. And this is a great opportunity to go into the new year on a high note. So I would highly recommend, highly suggest, highly advise that you get in the building. Don't let finance stop you. You have to understand you are making an investment into your marriage. You're making an investment into your future, and a great investment it is. And not only that, we have in January the Foundry Experience. You want to talk about it, Gonzalez?
Man, the Foundry experience is, like we said, is not a retreat for the men. It's a how would I say it? Is an experience that we take the men through our quadrants of spiritual, emotional, physical, and financial. And the thing about it is, every man needs a man. We have excellent rule ones. We have excellent brothers from all around the world that's going to be there. I mean, all around the world, coming from United Kingdom, West Coast, East Coast, Midwest, down in the dirty South, up here coming north. I'm going to be there. Roland's going to be there. Sonny's going to be there. Jeff is going to be there. This is an all men experience, and we're looking for the men to register. We probably have one slot left. Man,
only one spot left.
One spot left. We were looking for one particular man to be there. He know who he is. We hope that he can come. So we challenge that one person to come meet us January 20th to the 22nd for the Foundry Experience, where all the men, all the brothers can unite and explode together, man. We need it. We need y'all. We need y'all.
Absolutely. The Foundry Experience. So, hey, listen, guys, we're going to jump right into our topic for today, hearing the negatives, responding with positives. During this period of time, we want to make sure that everybody has a positive experience during the holidays. The holidays can be very challenging at times, but we want to make sure that we give you some clean insight, right? Practical principles on what you can do when you're faced with difficult situations during the holidays. The first one we have is to listen. Listen, right? So a lot of times we listen, and sometimes people just need a listening ear. We have so many people that's going through so many things, and we have to be conscious and comprehensive when we understand what the people are going through, right? And a lot of times we want to respond so fast. We want to give our insight. We want to drop knowledge on them, and a lot of times people just want you to listen. I don't need your advice. I don't need you to give me what you think I ought to do. I just need you to listen to what I'm saying, listen to what I'm going through, because sometimes we don't have that venting session. Sometimes we don't have the person that we can share our emotions with. Sometimes we don't have that space, right, to release. And when they find that person who may happen to be you, just listen. Listen to what your relatives are saying, you know. What you got, Gonzalez?
That's the hardest part for certain people that always want to interject. It's when we're supposed to listen with tentative ears without any interruptions. Oh, but I let me say something real quick. No. My heart is heavy. I need you to hear me. Please hear what I'm trying to say without any interruptions. And people been going through other people not listening to them for years and years and years, and it becomes so rooted that they can never speak their heart, speak their thoughts, because of the pain that they're having. Nobody is trying to listen to what they got to say because they're so enamored about what they have to say about them. No, it's about this one particular person that is hurting right at this moment, that needs help. It's a cry for help. When people want you to just listen at this pivotal time, they have that voice they want to share, because there's something on the inside that has not been spoken out, because they have not been heard. They have not been heard for years, and they've been walking around talking to the wrong people,
Mm-hmm.
and the wrong ones is listening rather than the ones that need to listen, whether it be family or a close friend. Because if nobody gets a chance to listen, we don't even know that that other person was going through suicide, depression, you know, having some other type of illnesses that we don't even know about. Oh, there's something wrong with her. Well, did you take time to talk to them? Did you listen? Did you listen to whatever they had to say? So we gotta listen, man.
You make a positive point, because while we are expressing to listen to what your family members may be saying, but the other side of it, the first side of it is, who are you talking to?
Hello.
Because a lot of times we're talking to the wrong people, expecting them to listen, but they're not the people that we should be talking to in the first place. And that's where we mess up, and that's where we find ourselves in trouble, because we're talking to people that we already know is what the mouth of the South. We already know that they are going to be the one that have a word for you that you ought to do, right? And so we have to be mindful of the people that we talking to when we want somebody to just be a listening ear, right? So we want to make sure we understand what we need when we need it.
Hello.
Hey, listen, I want to shout out a couple people really quick. Stephanie N is with us. Miss T, LaShawn Cook, Callie Power couple is here. LaShawn E is with us. Ben Scott, old faithful Ben Scott, is with us from Nashville. Good to see you, Ben. Listen, we're talking about hearing the negative, responding with positive. The next one is going to be hear. Now we're talking about listening. Now we're talking about hearing. Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Right? A lot of times we hear one thing that a person is saying, but then we internalize and we make it out to be something else, right? We listen and we hear with our intuition, with our emotions, you know, with our reactions. We hear ready to respond and not really listening to what the person is saying. We respond, or we react, or we are setting ourselves up in a defensive mode because we heard something that didn't register well with us. And then now, instead of us hearing what the person is saying to be able to give positive insight, we are in a defense mode and ready to go off. We're ready to pop off. And that wasn't the whole point of them speaking to you in the first place, right? So we're talking about listening. Now we're talking about hearing. Are you listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth, right? Can you hear what I'm saying? Because so oftentimes we want to respond, we want to give a word of advice, but you're not even listening to what I'm saying. I'm talking about apples and you're talking about oranges. That's not the right response, obviously. So we have to be careful when we're hearing, while we listening to what's coming out of the other person's mouth. What you're saying, Gonzalez?
The first thing that came to mind, in the sense of, on the spiritual side, faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So if we hear what is being said, then we can believe, not believe in the sense of me and you talking, but understand what is being said. Hearing and listening go hand in hand. They're totally different things because there's a response. But when you hear when somebody's saying, do you hear me? Do you hear me? Do you hear what I'm saying? But we can't put words in somebody else's mouth. We got to hear them and respond, because a lot of times is I got in trouble a whole lot when I was a kid because I didn't hear what my mom said. Don't touch the stove because the stove is hot. Did you hear me? Yeah. Well, I'm going to go ahead and touch it anyway. So what happened? I got burnt. That's my fault. But the thing about it is, in the end, as we get older, a lot of people have so much on their agenda that they don't pay attention to the individual because they feel that they have more to say. It's not about that. You got to hear what is being said. You got to process what you've heard and go back and be in this conversation together as a whole, and not be in this entanglement where you got 50 million things running through your mind, expecting somebody to hear what you just said. Nobody hear you when you text me. You know what I mean? It's out of context.
Right.
Hey, I'm not even going to say her name because on Amazon, I'll ask the same thing, and she'd be like, I don't understand. You didn't hear me. Even the computer don't even hear me.
Right.
We already know who Alexa is.
Right. Hey, listen, that is so crazy. And one of the things that we want to be careful of too, while we are in the holiday season, while we are watching the football games, while we're cooking, right, with our spouses, don't try to go and have a conversation with your spouse while they're watching the game and expecting them to hear what you're saying of importance while they're watching the game. Brother, please don't go. Your wife is cooking her sweet potato pie, Gonzalez, right? Her sweet potato pie, her sweet potato souffle. She's fixing the turkey, and now you want to bring up important conversation. Let your work day be your work day, and your play day be your play day. Do not try to go have deep conversations while the person is preoccupied, expecting them to listen to what you're saying, and then thinking they're going to be hearing what you're saying as well, to give a comprehensive answer to your question. So we got to be careful when we're trying to have these conversations. However, they are important conversations, and there's ways to go about doing that. Hey, babe, I need a minute with you after you finish watching the game, or can you meet me for a second during halftime, or when you put the pie in the oven, you know, I have about 30 minutes. Can we have a quick conversation if it's of extreme importance? But please don't go try to mess with these people while they cooking or watching the game and expecting them to hear what you're saying. I know you're going to be watching the game, Gonzalez, and trying to cook and juggle a whole bunch of stuff at the same time. What you talking about?
Nah, I did it yesterday, so I'm good. So as you made that point, so this weekend I was making sweet potato cheesecakes, right? And last night,
heard of, but go ahead.
We was at the neighbor's house, and we're interjecting, like we're talking and stuff like you're talking about, and I'm like, I rotate them, and I'm like, you know what, babe, did I rotate them? I don't know. Did you? And lo and behold, when we came back, it was like, nah, we got to rotate these bad boys because I didn't hear and she didn't know. Our communication, we were working together, but our communication slipped towards the end, and it was just like, you know what? I hear you. Nah, yeah, those got to go back in a little bit. I hear you, babe. I hear you. And it's just like the little things we got to hear, but on a real tip, if somebody wants to either quit counseling or the failure of trying to get help and they want to withdraw because of something, hear them. Hear why. Allow them again to express themselves of hearing the matters of the heart. A lot of times people don't hear the matters of the heart because they feel that they know what's going to be said. Oh, I know what you're going to say, Roland. I know what you're going to say. No, you're not. I've been dealing with this for years, and we just met. So it's important for us to hear the individuals, man. There's a lot of pain that's out here in this world, and a lot of people are looking for answers. You come on Couples Academy, you log on daily, every week, to get something so you can hear what is for you. And when you hear something that's for you and it resonates with your situation, we can't hear you until you speak. We hear your comments when you type them, but deep down inside, we feel your pain, but it won't get heard unless you say something.
Hey, we're talking about hearing the negatives, responding with positives. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we will see you back on the other side.
Welcome to the Couples Academy app. The Couples Academy app is your go-to hub for how to do marriage right. Get started with our app today by perusing our amazing features that conveniently allow you to connect. This app is packed with powerful content and resources to help you grow and stay connected. With this app, you can watch our messages, find marriage resources, watch, listen, and read the real-life stories of restored couples, sign up for events, read articles and blog posts,
Stay up to date with push notifications. Share your favorite messages via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or email, and download messages for offline listening. For more information about the Couples Academy app, go to couplesacademy.org.
Welcome back. Thank you for watching the Couples Academy show. You're here with me, Roland, and my boy Gonzalez. We're running the ship today, so we hope that we are dropping some nuggets for you that will lead you into having a great holiday season with your relatives, with your spouse. We're talking about hearing the negative and responding with positive. The next point we want to go to is empathize. Empathize. So oftentimes people don't want to open up and express the difficulties that they are experiencing or going through because they don't feel like people will understand what they're going through. They feel like they're all alone, but we are in a position where we can help those that we are listening to, those that come to us with issues, those that come with us with problems, to let them know that they're not alone. And so oftentimes the suicide rate has gone up. People have found themselves discouraged, not feeling like they can go on, ready to throw in the white flag, ready to throw in the towel, because they feel like they're the only ones with the situation that they're going through. And we have to empathize. Empathy means to put yourself in the other person's shoes. I can relate. I can respond. If it was me, how would I handle this? How would I feel? You have to almost come all the way down. It's not about you in that moment. Right? You have to come all the way down, put yourself in the other person's shoes to realize really what they're going through. And if you don't understand, the best way to find out, to make sure you understand, is to repeat back to them what they just said. What I heard you say was, right? And in that way, it gives you the opportunity to make sure you sit in the seat with them and they're not feeling like they're by themselves.
It definitely is like that as far as, losing a loved one. You know what I'm saying? It may not be where you can say, I lost a parent, but you have lost somebody. Mm-hmm. And, just being able to comfort that person in that moment, as you said, it's about that other person. Put yourself in their shoes. It's going to be a little tight, but you know what? You're there for the moment to understand it's not about you. It's not about reverting back to you. It was never about you at that moment. So take the spotlight off of you and put it on someone that needs to be heard, needs to be comforted, needs to be restored, need that safe place. To have that safe place to just say, you know what? I understand. Is there anything else that you anything else that you need? Anything? Sympathize with them, empathize with them, be there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you're just there to intercede, even if you don't even say nothing. Your presence alone speaks volumes. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Just that shadow. So a lot of people don't empathize with nobody because they have selfish motives. Go ahead.
Yeah, when you have selfish motives or hidden agendas, it's hard for you to empathize or to feel what somebody else is doing. And it's even more serious and harder to empathize when you feel like you have all your ducks in a row, you have it all together, everything is working well on your end, right? But it could be someone else's day today, but it could be very well be yours tomorrow, right? Time is filled with swift transitions, and we have to be mindful of that and recognize that. Listen, no one is exempt from situations, and so you would want to empathize, humble yourself, and empathize with the person that's coming to you in that moment, so that you could be fully aware of what's going on, so that when your time comes, you can get back what you have given out, right? So we want to make sure that we fully understand what empathy is and put yourself in the other person's shoes. That's all it means. That means to just feel what they are feeling. That means to express your sympathy in their empathy, in your act of empathy. That's what that means,
Absolutely.
literally, right?
Absolutely.
The last point we want to go to is reminisce. Reminisce. I'm gonna let you lead out on this one, Gonzalez. We're talking about reminiscing over our loved ones, reminiscing over those that may have gone on during this season of the holidays. You know, Uncle Willie is not here anymore. Auntie Sally is not here anymore. But what can you do hearing the negatives during this time and responding with positives?
One thing I always I thank God that He gave this to me. When you lose that loved one, the only thing that you have left are memories. And these memories are eternal. They don't fade. They do not fade. So when we lose these loved ones and you know that they can cook, and you know this time of year or any time of the year, but especially this time of the year is where they went all out. And you know, they made, as I'm thinking now, Auntie made applesauce. So the granddaughter was trying to make the applesauce, but making applesauce like grandmom did. But she didn't realize that it was her great grandmother's tools and instruments that she was using that was passed down to her grandmother, and now she has it. And she's using the same tools with it, which was, you know, 4 generations down, because I don't know if her mom used it. So it was like she was just trying. She was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be making it right. I said, baby, the only way you're gonna make it right is if you make it with love, because that's all she did was make it with love. In spite of everything, in spite of anything that she did it with love. So that's why it was always good. You know, oh, why don't you use the other apples? Nah, she used Macintosh because that was her favorite apple to make this apple sauce. So, you know, the order for us to reminisce on the positive stuff, on the positive side, we have to look at the internal memories that cannot be duplicated, because they do not fade. You know what I mean? When someone was drinking and they fell down the steps and stuff like that, yeah, it was funny. They didn't get hurt, but that brings laughter.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? So I'm just saying, in the midst of everything, there's always some goodness with this, man. There's always, whether it's going tragic, whether it's natural, there is always something to reminisce about. And it'll put a laughter on your heart, because it's like, wow, only that person can do it. They can't do it like you, man. They can't do it like you.
That's absolutely true. We can take a negative situation, a negative moment, a negative time, and bring about positive to it when we just reminisce on the good times. When we reminisce on how things were with the people that we love. And what that will do is it will lift your spirits. It will bring joy to your heart. And in that moment, that was a down moment or could have been a down moment. Now, like you said, you're laughing, you're talking about them, and they can come in, literally, their spirit, they can come in your midst and be in your presence and make everything that much lighter, that much happier, that much easier, and the day goes on. And so when you reminisce on the good times, it brings about a happiness and the joy that otherwise would be filled with negativity. I want to hit one comment. We're going to close out on today. Mary Catherine Rosa said, "You're right. So many people don't know how to listen because they keep turning the spotlight back on them. Listen, it's not about you, right? During this time, let's feed one another. Let's feed into each other so that way we can get the best out of each other and not continue making it about ourselves, not making the spotlight be on me all the time, right? Let's remove the social media appetite of attention and let's make it about our family members or the persons that we're dealing with."
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you clicked on her name because this is confirmation. My aunt, the granddaughter that was doing the cooking, the granddaughter was named Mary Catherine, not the one that was doing it, but Aunt Catherine was the woman that was the name. And we have a Mary Catherine in our family. And that was her grandmother that was making that. So, like you said, reminiscing. It's not about your emotions, man. I got a family member that always turn that spotlight back on them. It could be a dark room, and as soon as they talk, the light is on them. It'll go black, and then all of a sudden you see this light. And you know what? I was trying to say, it ain't even your story.
That's how people are sometimes. Hey, listen, you've been watching the Couples Academy show on this Monday with Roland and Gonzalez. We hope that you guys had a great show with us today, talking about hearing the negatives, responding with positives. Hope you have a great week. We will see you in the AM. Talk to you then.
Take care.